with all the negative news surrounding the Clippers, here's some positive news, I would say, in regards to the Clippers' future and the chances of the Clippers still possibly having a championship in their sights and still being a contender. Kawhi Leonard has had a cleanup procedure on his knee in which he had the torn meniscus, and they expect him to be ready and ready to go by training camp. It's a 8-week process, 6 to 8 week process for him to, really start getting back into his groove and everything like that. And he's expected to go for training camp when it starts, going into next season, which I think that's a good thing for the Clippers because, like I said, I think the Clippers more than likely are going to run it back with PG and Kawhi, which I feel like they should anyway, because unless they can land somebody like a Damian Lillard or somebody of that caliber, it's no need to try to go out there and, trade one of your star players and get some pieces back and try to rebuild, especially when you got a new arena opening after next season and you want to be able to possibly open it with a championship and or open it with the two stars that you have on your roster currently right now, which is Kawhi and PG. So I definitely think that, Kawhi being able to show up for training camp and everything's a go, just like normal. It would be as normal as if he didn't have an injury. And I think that's a good sign, for the Clippers, especially, him being their major star player and, him tearing his meniscus. I got to give Kawhi a lot of credit. He still played on it. He still scored 31 points that second game in the playoffs. He just couldn't go no more after that because it was just too much on him. And that last month of the season, I felt like the Clippers had to put a lot on Kawhi Leonard in regards to responsibility, even more because, Paul George went down, and that's just the way it had to be. You know what I'm saying? Even though Kawhi and his camp really weren't happy with that and how things were going, but at the same time, that's just the way it had to be. Now, of course, up until that point, I thought the Clippers could have won more games, even when Kawhi was kind of sitting out in the season, trying to come back and get himself acclimated. I feel like the Clippers could have won more games without him because the depth of the Clippers is so wide and so deep. I mean, I felt like they could have won a lot more games without Kawhi, where they wouldn't even have had to fight and claw the last month of the season just to get into the playoffs and be one or two games, from between the playoffs and the play-in tournament. They should have been in a lot better position to me. But of course, having your two superstars definitely make things a lot easier. So hopefully, maybe this is the year it might some luck might be on the Clippers side where they can keep Kawhi healthy and keep Paul George healthy as well, because it's going to take both of them. If they were going to win a championship, it's definitely going to take both of them to do it. It's not going to really just be one guy out of the two, because it's just too much on one guy to sustain and either stay healthy and or carry the load. It's just a lot, you know what I'm saying? So, you hope the fact that both of them stay healthy, especially Kawhi more than anything, because, you want to see Kawhi out there because he's the guy that's won championships and he's the guy that can, make life easier for everybody on the Clippers. If he's not on the Clippers, they're not a championship caliber team. They're not a contender. They're none of the above. So, this is good news to hear that, he doesn't really have to have like any other major surgeries or anything like that with his knee. His ACL, part of his knee is good. No issues there. And he's expected to be ready for training camp and ready to go like everybody else. So, now you just hope that he stays healthy from that point where he can build more chemistry with the guys that's on the team and kind of build chemistry, not just by talking and being on the sideline, but being out there with them and showing them, implementing things that he knows that can help them become a championship caliber team and actually live up to the hype that a lot of people have or had for them up until this point. So that's definitely a good sign if you're a Clippers fan. I know a lot of Clippers fans may be against the Kawhi Leonard era and the Kawhi Leonard PG era, but this is the era that you're in, and that's where the Clippers are. And there would be no type of contending for any type of championship, or they wouldn't even be talked about if Kawhi Leonard wasn't on that team. That's just fact. So, say what you want. I definitely understand your side. If you think that Kawhi should be gone and get rid of him, he's done, he's all those things, I definitely respect your opinion if you say those things, because from the naked eye, I can see that's how it may look or may seem. But, media has a lot to do with a lot of things and the way they seem and stuff as well. So, if you really are a Clippers fan and you really want this team to win, Kawhi is your best opportunity. He really is, because if you think about all the other star players that you had, they were your best opportunity at the time, and they weren't even as good as a player as Kawhi Leonard. Nobody on the Clippers that's ever played for this team is better than Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard is the best player the Clippers have ever had in their history as a team. And then that's pretty much almost non-debatable unless you just choose to debate it. But regardless, your best chances is with him, and hopefully he stays healthy, because if he stays healthy, there's no doubt in my mind that this team can make a run in the playoffs along with Paul George, and they can really find a way to affect a lot of things in the Western Conference and shake things up. I definitely think they can beat Denver. I mean, they had Denver down 3-1. Paul George didn't show up. Kawhi didn't show up the last game of that in the Game 7 in the bubble, which came back to haunt them. But still, regardless, I still think the Clippers have the better team when they're really locked in and engaged and ready to go. So, like I said, it's going to be a tough ride even if they do stay healthy. It's still going to be tough because, like I said, the West is only getting better. Then you see what the Phoenix Suns did by adding Bradley Beal. The road to the championship is even tougher now than what it was. So, hopefully also the Clippers can maybe pull off and get maybe a trade or something in the offseason that can, offset what some of these other teams are doing in regards to their offense and not put so much onus on Kawhi and PG. You got to have that third guy that you trust, that's solidified. And I don't really think the Clippers have that solidified third guy they can trust every night or most nights on a consistent basis to give them what they need, especially when playoff time come, where they're going to need all the help they can get, and they're going to need help from themselves by being on the court, staying healthy and producing. So, with all that being said, it's good to hear that Kawhi will be ready for training camp. It's good to hear these type things. It's good to hear he's ready to go. I know he's motivated. I know he's hungry again, and that's definitely, a bad recipe for a lot of teams if Kawhi is hungry for a championship, because we know he definitely can go out there and put a team on his back and make it happen. So hopefully he does. Hopefully he stays healthy, and hopefully there's a lot of positivity around this team and this organization going forward. And hopefully we can see the best of Kawhi and the best of this team put together this upcoming season. And hopefully, better things come out of it, like a championship. But either way, leave any comments in the comment section. Let me know what you think, as always, and we'll talk about it.